Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Basement Ballers podcast. My name is Kareem.
You do this shit every week, man. They
Bro,
know
what
it.
if we got some new viewers?
They
You don't
know.
know.
They know our name.
No, they don't.
They
You don't know
do.
your bum ass. All right. Anyway, my name is Kareem. That's Brahim because he doesn't want to introduce his dumb ass. And this is episode 5 of our weekly soccer podcast where we talk about Premier League, where we talk about Champions League, where we talk about everything European football related. And this week will be no different. So this week we wanted to start off by giving our Premier League roundup. For this week, it's Sunday, April what? Sunday, April 16th. So that means we've basically almost completed match day 31. There's just I think 2 games that are tomorrow.
But Liverpool play tomorrow.
Liverpool versus Leeds.
Yeah.
And then is that the last game?
Yeah.
Let me do a quick double check on that.
I believe.
So basically, match day 31 is over. Yeah. So it's
Leeds.
Liverpool and Leeds. That's the last game for tomorrow.
Mhm.
But for the most part, we're going to be able to give a pretty comprehensive Premier League roundup for the week. Starting off,
we don't care about mid-table clashes.
Wow. All right, bro. Watch your tone with Arsenal tying to West Ham. Anyway, we're gonna start off today with the first match of this week, which was Aston Villa versus Newcastle. So this was quite the interesting outcome, I would say.
I would say shocking. Even.
It was shocking, but given Aston Villa's recent form, it wasn't like insane.
Yo, them winning isn't the shocking part. It's the fact they spanked the best defense in the league 3-0.
That's the shocking, because remember last week we had basically praised Aston Villa for how they've changed, how they've become more of an attacking side, and how Emery has converted them to a more of an attacking side, and they really showed that because Newcastle didn't even appear to be competing with them. Like they were just penetrating their D pause. Like it was crazy, and it was very uncharacteristic of Newcastle, I would say.
Yeah, it was a good evening for Emery. It was a very I don't know, man. Villa is I think, bro. I think that result brings them within like 4 or 5 points of top 4. I'm pretty sure.
They're in Europa League qualifications now, I'm pretty sure.
Let me check. If they're in the Europa League with Emery as their coach. Let's see. Yeah, so Villa right now are 6 points behind Newcastle. But 6 points behind Newcastle, 9 points behind Man United, but they both have a game in hand on Villa. So, okay, top 4 is probably very, very unlikely. But
No,
they might even leapfrog Spurs. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a pretty interesting result. But shout outs to Aston Villa. Obviously, they've really managed to turn their season around, potentially even earning themselves a Europa League qualification for next season. So we'll keep an eye out on that. But yeah, that team has been looked pretty good, especially Watkins. Watkins is like absolutely. He could have had 3, but then they called that one.
He's an
goal
Arsenal
offside.
fan as well, man. If you wanna pull up, to the title charge, just you pull up, man.
Fair enough.
He could be a backup though. I want to put him as my main striker.
No. Jesus is doing work for you guys, to be fair.
Yeah, bro. We all need Jesus in our lives.
Yeah, Arsenal needs Jesus to a higher order this week.
Bro, it's written in the stars. We have Muhammad and Jesus on our teams, bro. Like this is a holy victory. That's why people should root for us and not Man City.
I mean, brother, I'm rooting for you. I don't want no dumbass Man City to win shit. But anyway, listen, that's obviously we're gonna get to that. But the next matchup, which is obviously kind of become a trend as of this season, which is the Chelsea and Brighton matchup. You have Chelsea going up 1-0, but basically throughout the entire game they didn't look convincing in the slightest, really, right? They were Brighton was on their ass basically from the minute that they scored, and it was kind of curtains from there, I think.
Yo, it's because the good. Okay, so the thing is, right, so Conor Gallagher scores actually, before I get to the goal, so the Mudryk assist, I don't know if you've been seeing this shit, because this has to be like trolling. So Mudryk has the most assists in Chelsea in all competitions. Mm-hmm. But did you see both of his assists, what they were?
Yeah,
they were shit. One of them was just a looping ass header when they played against Leicester, and then this one was literally just like he drops off to Conor Gallagher. He just takes a wick, like some random shot. It deflects off someone, goes in. But then Chelsea, by the end of the first half, I saw this. Brian had 67% possession. Mm-hmm. They're playing at Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, bro, Brian. I mean, after they got robbed at Spurs, they deserve to beat Chelsea. But Brian got robbed of at least 6 or 7 points. They should be comfortably top 4 right now. I think.
Yeah, no, Brighton's had a pretty good season, to be fair.
They've
been competing with everybody. Honestly, just watching them play against Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea is a banter club this season, and I didn't expect them to beat Brighton because of how Brighton was looking this season. But Brighton was really dominant. like overly dominant given the squad. I think, and I think Lampard was making some like I think it's nice to have different like rotations, especially when you're losing. But at the same time, there are key players that you're not playing, like a Conte or like a Thiago Silva, that like can really like maybe like I know that he's kind of like thinking, oh, Champions League is our priority, which is fair enough, right? But I don't know. It's
what Champions League?
what Champions League? Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about Champions League obviously a little
Bro,
later on. But
I mean,
Chelsea has become quite the. I honestly like.
no.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with Lampard as well is that. Now I don't know. I think he either started or came off the bench. Regardless, there was Ziyech. Ziyech played during the game, and the thing is, what I don't get is that they have that one dude they signed Madueke, however you say his name. They paid 30 mil for him. And the thing is, Ziyech obviously like he made it known he doesn't want to be at Chelsea. Like he tried to force a move to PSG during the winter. So the fact that he doesn't want to be there, I don't get why you're. Let me check. Was he starting or back? I don't get why he's even getting minutes over him. The other guy they bought when like. Bro, like, what is like? He's still young, you know. They should be playing him. Like, let me see. Did he start or did he get subbed on? Let me check. Okay, yeah, he got subbed on. Okay, so Ziyech got subbed on for Pulisic. Okay, that's the thing. It's like he's good. Ziyech is good, but he doesn't want to be at Chelsea clearly. So I don't get why they're still.
And Pulisic is like another weird case because he's not been performing well for Chelsea at all. Like his game, like he played like garbage yesterday.
Injuries as well. That's his issue. It's always been injuries, man.
But he turned up for the World Cup, so like I could definitely say that he's shown sparks of brilliance in that sense. But like maybe he just needs to get out of Chelsea.
I think he's just injury prone. It's always like that. And also, bro, he's the LeBron James of soccer, dude. You know, so he should be doing I don't know, man. Like even like the thing is with him, he's injury prone. But even when he's not injured, when he plays, I don't know. There's only one time that Pulisic looked good to me. Now, granted, I don't watch Chelsea every single week, obviously, but when they played, this was a post-lockdown football. Back when they came back from like the 3-month period. Chelsea then and in the FA Cup final, especially in the FA Cup final, we ended up winning that. But during the FA Cup final, he's the one who scored, and he was just terrorizing David Luiz and Socrates the whole game. Yeah, and I was just thinking, I'm like I was shocked. I'm like, damn, like I didn't know he was that good. Yeah, like he was saucy for a while, but then since then he's just been kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Chelsea needs to kind of just get to that finish line at this point. They're like, it's
a write-off. What, bro? 10th?
It's a write-off season. I don't think they're gonna get relegated. That's a bit like no.
They need to no Premier League team has ever been relegated when they're on 40 points. So they're on 39. So just get one more point and you're fine.
Yeah. You guys are looking good, especially because like those clubs at the bottom are pretty much banter at this point, like Leicester and Southampton and Forest. But obviously,
but their schedule is fucked with us. You see who they still have to play against?
Chelsea.
Chelsea still have to play against us. They still have to play against Man City. They still have to play against Let me check. Chelsea's because this was like the last like month and a half was like their winnable run of games essentially, and they lost all of them. Like Chelsea's remaining games are gonna be tough because they're playing against Okay, so they play. So they're playing Man United, except the game that they had against them was postponed. But they're gonna play them eventually. They have Brentford, which is hard. Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle. Bournemouth is not easy, and they have Forest, who are gonna be in a relegation. So none of their games really remaining are gonna be easy. Like the easiest game out of all of them is probably Bournemouth, because I think I think that result against Spurs pretty much saved them. I think like them winning that. I think they're probably safe. I think because they have like a 7. Not 7. I think they have like a 5 or 6 point gap.
Aren't they they're like 15th now, 14th? So
like points. Yeah, exactly.
They have like I think 4 or 5 points ahead of relegation spot.
Yeah.
They've turned up against big teams.
They're 6 points ahead of. They're 6 points ahead of Forest with the same amount of games played. Yeah, they're on 33, and they're in 14th actually.
I would say Bournemouth is looking pretty good, especially because like again they've been putting up good results against pretty solid teams.
Yeah, they almost beat Arsenal.
Obviously, Liverpool and Spurs are also like don't get me wrong, they're pretty terrible this season, but they're still big clubs. Like like as a like a lower table team. When you go up against a team like Liverpool or Spurs, you're still giving it your all. You still but you fear them, right? Because they have potential to be a tough opponent, right? But they've beaten both as of recent. So I feel like that's looking kind of good on their end. So Bournemouth is and yeah, I think Bournemouth is not safe from relegation by any means, but there are teams that are playing much worse now that are much more likely, I would say, to be relegated.
I think this result. I think this result's gonna do wonders for them.
Yeah.
Keep in mind as well that they almost beat Arsenal. Well, not almost. Well, they almost drew with Arsenal. We ended up beating them last second, but there was that against. They beat Spurs. I'm pretty sure they played against Man United not long ago. I could be mistaken, but yeah, they've been putting up decent performances against bigger teams. But like I think they should be fine. But moving on next, actually, to the other result, Fulham Everton. I think Everton are fucked.
Like relegated?
I don't know if they're relegated, but bro, they're on the same amount of points. They're 17th on the same amount of points as Forest. We're 18th. But like, I don't know, because they have Sean Dyche, who's like. Sean Dyche is wavy. He's a good coach, but like, I don't know.
Fulham is another side that has been quite surprising. Obviously, a team that's come out of like the championship and then moved on to the Premier League.
I thought they'd be relegated. They're a yo-yo club.
Yeah, right. And right now they're currently in 10th, right, with 42 points above Chelsea. And they like made basically Everton look like baby food. Like if you watch the game. Like Everton was basically like didn't know what to do. Whenever like Fulham attacked, they didn't know what to do. That like they looked lost the entire game essentially. Yeah. And it just really speaks to the forms that both teams are currently in. Like Pickford obviously like he didn't have a great game. Yeah. There was nothing really going on for Everton at all during that game. They got that one goal back, but like it was Fulham's to win and they did so. So like fair play to them.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't know, Everton, like, it's so weird, bro. The amount of money they spent over recent years to, like, the last 2 years they've been pretty much fighting relegations is kind of, I don't know. I don't think they're getting relegated. I'm sticking by my predictions I made last week, but things aren't not looking good for them. I don't know, because who the fuck do they even, like, who's going to want to stay there? Like, bro, half their team, like, look at this. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for example, who in my opinion is one of their only decent players, like never plays because he's always injured. He's always injured. They have him. They sold Anthony Gordon, which like I think he was overhyped as shit anyways, but he was decent. They don't have him. I remember when they got Decore and Allen and like those guys in their midfield, I thought like that'd be cool, but like even them, they've been kind of shit. They've I don't know, man. It's funny to think also through 2 or 3 years ago they had James Rodriguez and Carlo Ancelotti as their on their books. That's Everton, man. I don't know, man. Like, to me, I don't know. If I'm an Everton fan, I'd be pissed. Because, like, what's the direction of the club? Like, they're too good to be fighting relegation each year. They have too much money. They spent too much money to be this shit for the last 2 years. But it's like, I don't know what they're going to do to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, this year was obviously a bit of a weird year with they had Lampard as their manager in the beginning of the season. Then he gets sacked, and they kind of like they go through obviously a cycle of different managers. I think that more often than not, when you cycle through managers mid-season, you really tend to suffer. I think you tend to not perform as well as you might hope.
Well, they've been better under Dyche than they were under Lampard.
Of course, so. I mean, bro, like my grandma could create a team with all her friends at the mosque, and they would be better under Dyche than Lampard. So.
Yeah, Lampard is shit.
But that game is pretty self-explanatory. We also had Southampton versus Crystal Palace, which ended 2-0 for Crystal Palace's in Crystal Palace.
Yeah, they're safe, man. The relegation fears are going. Yeah, they're safe.
Yeah,
they're definitely
safe. They put on a pretty solid performances. Southampton had a lot of chances, a couple posts. They hit. They couldn't finish properly. So it was really their game to lose. I think they could have very well tied it up. They just didn't manage to. They couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. That was their main problem in that game. Not their lack of quality by any means. I mean, like obviously they do have a lack of quality in the season's like overall viewpoint, but in terms of this game alone, they had chances. They couldn't capitalize. Crystal Palace takes it. And then obviously you had Man City versus Leicester. That is just another
bullshit, bro. Okay, yo. Granted, I only watched half the game because by halftime it was fucking 3-0.
Yeah,
so like I didn't watch the rest of the game, but bro, Leicester had a chance to score. I mean, I know XG is a stupid metric, but if you look at the XG after the game, Leicester had a better XG than Man City. The other thing, like, and also, so now Haaland with his brace because he scored a pen, he scored a really nice goal after, but That brings him, on 32 goals. So now he's equaled Mohamed Salah's record for goals in the Premier League season. Yep. Now, the official record technically is 34. It was by was it Andy Cole and Alan Shearer. They had 34 goals, but that was when the Premier League was still 42 games.
Oh, I see.
So in a 38 game season, the record is Mohamed Salah, which is 32, and now Haaland's equaled it, which he's gonna beat, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know dudes are. Here's the thing. The thing is with Haaland though is that I've seen people say like, okay, but Haaland's thing isn't as impressive as Salah's, and I will agree based on the fact that with Haaland, bro, it's like you kind of just like he scores so much, you kind of just like get lost in the amount of goals he scored. Well, Mohamed Salah, the thing is with him is it was so like shocking, like the rate he was going at. You were like,
I mean, yeah, like he comes.
It was like
his
surprising.
First season, no?
It was his first season. On top of that, Man City's team is way better than the Liverpool team that Mohamed Salah joined.
And he was doing it all from the wing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is obviously like no disrespect to Haaland, but like when you have KDB feeding you like absolute beauties.
Yeah, exactly. Mohamed Salah had who? Henderson. Actually, well, and the first half of that season, he had Coutinho on his team until he went to Barca.
Mohamed Salah did have ballers on his team.
He did.
But at the same time, it's different. You're a striker versus you're a winger, and you're scoring like Mohamed Salah's goals.
Were better.
They
were better.
You know?
Yeah, no, but Haaland did score that bicycle kick last
that was so amazing.
It was a wavy
Oh
kick.
my god, that was so wavy.
I know, but for me, so now he also beat a record. He has the most goals by a Premier League player. Like he has 45 goals in all competitions this year, which beats any player in the Premier League that's ever done that. Even Ronaldo never did. I think Ronaldo only had 42. I think that record was also Mohamed Salah. He had 44.
Yeah, had 44. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Haaland beat that 45. Yeah, so damn, Salah really had a.
Salah was kind of wavy, bro. Like some people tend to disrespect my brother.
It's still Hazard though.
All right, well, that's I mean, what's Hazard doing now though?
I don't care.
What's Mohamed Salah doing now?
Shit, Hazard has more Premier Leagues.
Yeah, but what's Hazard doing now?
Yeah, they have the same amount of Champions Leagues.
Brothers warming off the bench at Real Madrid.
Shit, that sounds lovely to me. Enjoying that, nice Mediterranean sun.
Yeah, enjoying that Mediterranean burger.
Actually, it's not even the Mediterranean. I'm fucking dumb. It's the fucking. It's the Iberian Peninsula. So that's that's the Atlantic. Yeah, no, Mediterranean's Italian.
My brother said the Iberian Peninsula and expected us and the viewers to understand what the fuck that is. But moving on to let's go with Man United versus Forest because I wanted to save some extra cute time for Arsenal at the end. But Man United versus Forest, I didn't actually get a chance to watch this game because we're filming on Sunday. But Man United does win 2-0.
Anthony was good.
Anthony and
he also assisted Dalo's goal.
Yep.
No, Anthony was good too. But the thing is, I hate. Okay, granted, first season in England, he's not been terrible. I hate when people try to say he's like a flop. Because he's been underwhelming. He's not a flop. The one player no one ever talks about is Richarlison. Dude has no goals, nothing in 31 games.
Bro, my brother scored a goal and got it taken away. Against
Anthony, I think in all competitions this year, I saw it early. He has 10 goals, 4 assists, which honestly is not terrible. The thing is with him, he's a fucking Beyblade though. But he is decent. He is decent. Man United now are on 59 points, so I think Man United. I mean, they had a few top 4 fears. I think comfortably they're finishing top 4 because fucking Spurs are. No.
Listen, I think Anthony is I think we can distinguish between a couple things. The first thing is that has Anthony come to the Premier League and kind of made his mark, and to some extent, of course, you can't deny that, right? But obviously, you can still say that he's not worth 100 million. I mean, a lot of players that are being signed for 100 million.
Yeah, no one. Yeah,
they're not worth it, right? Even Atletico Madrid is asking for 100 million for Joao Felix. So at the end of the day, these players, a lot of these players that are coming up and saying we're worth 100 million, they're not actually worth 100 million.
Well, I saw a video about this the other day, and it's interesting because the most expensive ever signings in the Premier League, out of the 10 of them, I think only one justified it. Well, one justified his price tag. So, off the top of my head, I don't remember the exact prices, but top of my head, I remember. Okay, Lukaku obviously did not justify his price at all. Van Dijk, he justified it. You had Anthony. Well. So far, he's not justifying it, but maybe.
The jury's still out.
Yeah, Pogba didn't justify it. Kai Havertz, one of the most expensive. Kai Havertz, besides that Champions League final goal, I don't think he's really justified it that much. There was him. There was Harry Maguire. He's shit, so no.
Well,
you had Jack. Jack Grealish has been good this year. He's been very good this year, but still 120 million. I don't know. Jack Grealish is . Yeah, 60, 70 million. Cool. Not 100. That's the thing. You have to keep in mind that these are 100 million.
100 million.
For 100 million, I'm expecting you to be fucking Messi.
100 million. I'm expecting you to like score like yeah.
I'm expecting you to score from the halfway line. Like, you feel me? Like, nah, it's 100 mil. That's the thing. Like, so for me, only one player has ever really justified their price tag. That's Van Dijk, because you got him and won a Premier League and a Champions League. So like, yeah, justified it pretty easily. Except he fell off, man.
I don't know. Give him some time. Give him some time. Van Dijk is that like one of those players where I think that okay, you're allowed to have a bad season, right?
Yeah, but he's had two now. Like, oh wait, no. So yeah, this is
It's not two, bro.
No, because that one season you guys barely made top four. He was injured that whole year. I forgot.
Yeah,
so
right.
yeah, okay, yeah, no.
I think Van Dijk will make his return, and obviously that's a topic for another day. But Van Dijk is one of those guys. I think that just he does need some support. He's getting older. He's losing some pace. I will admit that. But give him some support in the midfield. Get him a nice, solid DM, and I think that like he'll become a better leader for the team, a better facilitator. That's what he needs to really work on. I think he needs to work on his leadership, and being really that I guess that role model for Konate, because Konate is that up and coming Liverpool defender that we really need to kind of build on.
I think Konate. I mean, maybe it's a hot take. I don't know. I think Konate is slightly overrated.
I think that like
I think he's good, but I think people. I think he's
good,
being over.
Yeah, but he's like he has had some injury issues and some fitness issues, which definitely worries you as a Liverpool supporter. But I think that you can definitely see strokes of brilliance, which you shouldn't say that, oh my God, he's amazing, he's the best defender in the league. By no means that you should say that, but you can at least recognize that there is potential, right?
Yeah.
But I did also want to highlight, obviously it's not Premier League, but Man United did bottle against Sevilla.
Harry Maguire.
And both goals. So for those of you who didn't watch, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys did watch it because Man United was getting bantered all week. But Man United was playing the first leg of a Europa League semifinals.
No, it's the quarter. Is it it's the quarters. The quarterfinals against Sevilla, and
Against
basically
Sevilla, they go up 2-0, right? Feeling good, feeling cute. And it's like, what, the 85th minute? The 80th
Bro,
minute?
so yeah, okay, so Malacia scores an own goal, and it's like the 78th minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, it scores the 80th, then Maguire gets... Okay, granted, here's the thing, though. I will say this. The goal itself is not Maguire's fault, because it just kind of hit him without him really knowing. So it's not his fault. It's just the fact that when Maguire's there, Man United just looks so shaky. Yeah. They just look nervous when he's there.
100%. And you know what, listen, presence. I don't want to... I spent quite a bit of time on TikTok bantering Man United. But I do want to say this, man. I'm starting to feel kind of bad because they lost Martinez, they lost Varane, they lost Rashford.
Let them suffer. Let them suffer.
I mean, listen, you fans are absolutely toxic and pretty annoying to deal with. But I can definitely I think that you guys should be happy now that your players that have supported your team have gotten you to that really comfortable top four. I don't think that you guys are gonna falter, especially after getting these 3 points today. But I think you guys forget about Europa League and forget about for FA Cup, because I don't think that you guys have the squad, the depth necessary to win those cups.
Yeah, I'd say let's focus on top four. I mean, they already have their crowning achievement.
You got the energy drink cup,
the 99-cent Walmart trophy. Y'all have that, so you can stick with that. All I'm saying is that, yeah, man, they spent hundreds of millions, new manager, Ten Hag's Mighty Reds, mentality monsters, all of that. Third.
Yeah, but I think Man United is actually looking to get some pretty solid signings this offseason. They could potentially land Jude. They could potentially land Harry Kane.
They're not Harry. They don't need Jude Bellingham. They need maybe Harry Kane. They don't need Jude Bellingham.
I don't know.
Jude Bellingham. I mean, I don't know, because Jude Bellingham. Bro. Because if you get Jude Bellingham, you'd have to put one of Bruno Fernandes or Eriksen or Sabitzer, who's been good, on the bench.
Sabitzer was solid that game against.
But
he scored both their goals.
I don't know, man. For like I said, I mean, you had this debate off camera the other day, but for 150 million or whatever Dortmund want for Bellingham, you could buy 3 midfielders instead of paying 1.
Yeah, he's not worth it.
Plus, he would be joining, say he joins Man United, joins the biggest team in England, 150 million. He's still 20, and he's English as well. So the pressure's gonna get them. He's not gonna be as good as what people think he is, which is normal because he's 20. He's not meant to be fucking Iniesta, but at the same time, bro, I don't know.
It's a bit worrying because I think a player like him, he's 20 years old, right? He's coming into a league where, he plays in Germany right now. In Germany, he's basically this English prodigy, and all English fans love him, and they want him to play for them, right? As soon as he hits the Premier League, he becomes basically a player for one team, and he is hated by everybody else.
Yeah, but
right?
that's the thing,
that's
bro.
That's where the pressure comes, right?
That's the thing. Look at, like, for example, Kai Havertz. For example, and like Kai Havertz, Anthony's, Mudriks, all these players, like they're not players that necessarily they've done anything to be hated. It's just the fact that they play on hated teams. That's why they get shot at. Like say McCallum Mudrik joined, I don't know, Everton. You think we'd give a shit? No. Say Kai Havertz played for Aston Villa. You think we'd give a shit?
No one would care.
It's the fact they play for Chelsea.
Yeah. No, exactly. So that can get to it. Like if you don't have a tough mentality, which obviously it's too early for us to say about Jude, and I don't want to like discredit him in that sense because I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't have a tough mentality, being this prodigy or like this future star and coming into the Premier League like that, it could really take a toll, especially at a price tag of 150 million. That's a lot.
I don't know, man. I want to skim through this real quickly. Yeah, Arsenal bottled a 2-0 lead against West Ham.
No, we're not skimming through that. Nah. So Arsenal have become the new bottle jobs of the Premier League. They go up 2-0 against Liverpool last week, and then they end up getting drawn. What?
Top of the league is called bottling to you.
Well, y'all not winning shit, bro. Honestly,
you guys have been finishing second and wiping City's battery crease the last 5 years. Talking about we bottle.
So Arsenal has become the new bottle job of the league. So they go up 2-0 against Liverpool. They bottled that. They end up drawing 2-2, and then they go up 2-0 against West Ham this week. Today. And what happens is that West Ham scores a penalty, which is like obviously not unlucky for Arsenal to concede that. Saka misses a penalty, which is rough because I seem to recall a bunch of Arsenal fans clowning Mohamed Salah for doing that last week. I digress though. And then West Ham ties it with a pretty solid goal.
Yo, the goal
in what, like the 55th minute?
Yeah, we should have won that. Shit. Yeah, I love Arteta. You know how much I love Arteta.
Yeah, no, he's
great. But he has this Wenger tendency where he makes subs way last minute. Because, bro, he brings on, I think, 3 out of the 5 subs he made after, like, the 82nd, 83rd minute. Like, what's the fucking point? Bro, the second it hit, like, the 60th minute. Because let me check real quick what time he made the subs at. Because I remember the subs he made pissed me off so much. Because, first of all, he took off Martinelli and not Saka. I would have taken off Saka instead of Martinelli. That's one. And then also on top of the fact that he takes off, like, okay, Jesus, I get it because he was on a yellow card, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, let's see. The times he made the subs. So, Jorginho and Trossard both come on the 67th minute, which isn't, like, too bad. Okay, fine. But then Fabio Vieira, Nelson come on in the 85th minute, and then Keddy on the 90th minute. Like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, if I'm Arteta, bro, I would have made the Saka substitution with Trossard 60th minute. The Jorginho and Trossard subs 60th minute. Then once it hit maybe like 75th minute and nothing changes, that's when I would have brought on, Nelson. I would have brought on Fabio Vieira. But not even Fabio Vieira, bro. Bring on Emil Smith Rowe. Fabio Vieira is a bum. He doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. He's a bum. Bring on Smith Rowe. And Keddy, okay, cool. But that's the thing I will say, though, is that's good. Our starting 11 is very solid, but our bench needs work.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because, like, you're not going to be able to fight for pretty much, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Premier League, and, like, Champions League next year. You can't find all 4 fronts with the squad we have. You can fight for 1 trophy, okay, but we need at least 3 or 4 good signings for us to compete on all fronts next year.
So, one of the things, obviously, is Zinchenko has had a couple of, like, obviously, I respect him as a player. He's been a great leader for your team. He's had a couple of shaky performances against Liverpool and now against West Ham. Does Arteta...
No, Zinchenko didn't play today. It was Tierney.
Oh, it was. Yeah, but he had a...
Zinchenko had a groin.
I think it was a result of that shaky performance against Liverpool.
Well, it was that, but also apparently he was a bit injured. Because he's going to be back against Southampton on Friday, so... Apparently he was a bit injured. I mean, I would have dropped them for the game today. Like, I don't disagree with Tierney starting, but my thing is that now this is so, like, it's dumb for me to say because Tierney for me is he's a quality left. Like, to me, he's a starter on pretty much most teams in the world. To me, I think Tierney starts for most teams in the world. But for the way that we play, you can see why Zinchenko starts over him because he's just like Tierney's a better defender than Zinchenko's. Like say Tierney was the one. Like say Tierney was playing the last like 20-30 minutes against Liverpool and we took out Zinchenko, I think we win that game probably because Zinchenko got skimmed by Arnold. That's how you guys ended up tying the game. So Tierney defensively is better than Zinchenko, but Zinchenko offers more in terms of like build up play and everything. Zinchenko offers more because Tierney's things, he gets the ball, he runs and just like whips it across. He's basically Andy Robertson essentially. He's an Andy Robertson.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing, right? So it's like Zinchenko obviously has had some suspect moments defensively, but what I really rated about his game is his offensive play. Now, when you try to park the bus when you're up 2-0, for example, like obviously you go for more defensive players, right?
Yeah.
This week is different. Obviously, this week he wasn't even playing, and maybe that injury was kind of weighing on him a little bit against Liverpool, and maybe that's why he wasn't having much of a solid game. I still think he's an amazing player, and I think that he's really helped you guys. But
yeah, for sure, yeah.
But one of the things that like disappoints me a little bit is like I know this is kind of like an extreme case, but do you feel with like how dominant Man City has been over the last couple of years that the Premier League has started to become a bit of a farmers league?
Bro, it's boring because any other season Liverpool would have had more than one Premier League title. Arsenal would be winning the Premier League title this year comfortably. Any other season, teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, and even like Man United, Chelsea, stuff like that, they'd be winning more. The issue right now is that in order for you to win the Premier League, you have to be basically a robot. Like I saw someone point this out earlier. You have to basically like essentially perfect to win the Premier League because every year to win the Premier League, you have to keep in mind that you have to pretty much go at least 90 points plus to win, to even have a chance to win. And that's like never been heard of. Like Chelsea in 2017 broke the points record with 93 points to win the Premier League. 93 points now doesn't guarantee you a Premier League. Back then, if you got at least 85 points 10, 15 years ago in the Premier League, you probably were going to win the Premier League. But to win it now, you have to be like damn near perfect. Because any other season, Arsenal would be comfortably going to win the Premier League this year. And that's what I think is done with people trying to say like, oh, we're disappointed this year, whatever. Like, okay, granted, Arsenal fans have talked a lot of shit about us winning the league, so I get why people will clown us for it if we don't win the league. But us finishing second on most likely we're gonna hit at least 90 points this year. I don't get like that. That shouldn't be treated as like failure. It's disappointing, but it shouldn't be treated as failure.
It's not failure because in the sense that nobody really expected Arsenal to be where they are today.
Yeah.
It's just like you kind of like as an Arsenal fan, you kind of see like how Liverpool fans have been feeling over the last couple of years, where like Liverpool has put up amazing performances, right? Yeah. But Man City is just built different.
But that's the thing. But the Man City, and also the thing is, I will point this out real quickly. The penalty West Ham had shouldn't have not the penalty. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. The penalty they did have shouldn't have been a penalty because in the lead up to the penalty, Declan Rice handballed it. And they didn't check it. They didn't VAR check. They VAR checked and they still gave it. But that's what I'm telling you. Arsenal this year have been robbed of 4 points against Brentford when they didn't drop the lines against West Ham. If we don't get robbed of those, we're basically still what? We're 8 points clear of Man City with a game in hand.
Yeah, and obviously, but
it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You have to be damn near perfect to win the Premier League now, and it's boring because now it's like who's gonna be able to challenge Man City for the Premier League? If Arsenal, if they don't win it this year, Man City are gonna win it 3 years in a row, and then next year, who the fuck is gonna challenge them? I don't think Newcastle are at that stage yet. No. Arsenal can keep building, and maybe Liverpool, maybe. I don't think Man United are there yet. Chelsea, I don't think they're there at all, and obviously not Spurs. So like, it is getting kind of boring because as opposed to like, I will say this though, despite Man City pretty much, because if you take out Liverpool's Premier League win, Man City would have won the Premier League 6 out of the last 7 years, which is boring as shit. Yeah. But I will say, as opposed to other quote unquote farmers leagues, the title races are at least somewhat interesting. There's only been 2 like really boring title races in the last few years, and it's been 2021 because Man City ended up winning that by like at least like 17 points, I think. Yeah. And then there was 2020 when Liverpool won it by 18 points. Other than that, every other Premier League title race the last few years has been pretty interesting. Yeah. So, no,
I think you could definitely say that. You could definitely have both things where you're kind of sick of seeing Man City win and you're kind of feeling that like it's becoming a bit predictable. But yeah, like obviously I think a lot of us were enjoying watching that kind of like toe-to-toe battle between Arsenal and Man City. So like it's obviously disappointing. It's not over for Arsenal by any means. It's just they need to figure some stuff out, and then you basically need to hope that like it's next Sunday.
Like no, we play them next Wednesday, the 26th of April.
26th of April.
And here's the thing though, is that Arsenal right now, we're still 4 points clear with a game in hand. So again, Man City win that, they go 1 point behind us now. If we can at least draw, or like it's not over by any means, because if we can draw or beat, I think if we beat Man City, I think we win the Premier League. Yeah. If we draw against them, I think it's somewhat probable, even though I don't necessarily think 100%. We lose to if we basically lose to Man City, yeah, it's done. Because I don't think Man City are dropping any points. Because the only like tough games they'd have left would be. I know that they play Chelsea, but that's not even a tough game.
No.
That's not really a tough game.
No, that's a tough game.
Who do Man City still have to play against? Because they don't really have any tough games left. I don't think. Let me check. They have to play. They play us. They play. Well, they have to play Brighton, which will be tough. They have to play Chelsea, Brentford. I mean, Leeds, West Ham, Everton, Fulham. Like, they're not easy games, but they're not tough. Like, the only tough games they really have left are probably us and Brighton. That's it.
Yep.
And they're playing us at home, and they're playing Brighton. I think they're playing Brighton at home as well. Let me check. Let me see. Are they playing Brighton at home? They're playing Brighton at home. No. Oh, no. They're playing Brighton away. Yeah, Brighton away might be hard.
Yeah.
That could be difficult.
But yeah, anyway, I think that kind of concludes what we wanted to talk about for this week's Premier League roundup.
Move on to Champions League.
Move on to Champions League. If you guys watched it this week, you would have known the matchup. So Man City versus Bayern.
Upamecano's a bum.
We're gonna So that matchup ended 3-0 for Man City's favor. And Bayern didn't even look close to like.
Well, ever since they got 2 shots, even this week, because I know if you're really paying attention to Bundesliga. Even this week, they drew 1-1.
They drew to Hoffenheim.
Yeah, they drew 1-1 exactly. Even they haven't been really wow since Tuchel came in. And I know it's not Tuchel's fault. It's not him. Is it Tuchel or Tuchel? I'm gonna say Tuchel. You know what?
No, bro. Let's just say Tuchel. That sounds a little French. You know.
Yeah, but he's fucking.
I
German.
know, but like
Point is, I'm not saying it's his fault necessarily, but the decision to sack him, like I said, like on the TikTok page, which you guys should be following, TikTok will be linked. I said this, like I don't really think like it's not Tuchel's fault, but the decision to sack Nagelsmann is looking dumber and dumber as like the weeks pass by. Honestly, because Bayern right now are pretty much out of the Champions League. I don't see Man City losing fucking by more than 3 goals to lose against Bayern. So that leaves Man City pretty much in the semifinals against Madrid, because Madrid beat Chelsea 2-0 as well. There's no way Chelsea are winning that. Madrid should have won by more as well. Chelsea had only one chance that I could remember, and it was João Felix like beginning of the match. He had a chance to score, and I say chance, it was kind of like a decent chance, but it wasn't like an open net or anything. But yeah, Chelsea are out, so that would leave Man City, Madrid, and then the fixtures that are still in the balance, I think, are still AC Milan and Napoli, and then there's Benfica and Inter Milan. So I need to, because you watched the Milan Napoli, I didn't watch that game. I need you. What do you think?
So Milan Napoli was kind of a boring game because Napoli without Osimhen, like they basically felt like they had no presence in the attack. Right, so it was a very stale game. I'm pretty sure Milan scores in the first half, if I remember correctly. Milan basically scored in the first half, parked the bus for the rest of the game, but
they did get a red card. I saw Napoli got a red card. What was that about? They had a red card. I know that. If you're gonna remember, I remember. Yeah, because Chelsea had a red card and Napoli had a red card. I remember.
Let me go back.
Ben Chilwell's a bum as well. Except Chelsea fans already know that. But basically, I don't know. Right now,
and Guisa.
Yeah, do you remember why he got a red card? It was
2 yellows.
2 yellows.
It was 2 yellows.
Okay, so it wasn't really a significant thing. Okay.
But yeah, so like essentially like Napoli just didn't look any like kind of threat, even with Kvicha playing his natural position, but without Osimhen kind of like spearheading that attack.
Yeah, he's the glue.
He's the glue, exactly. And you've noticed it in Serie A when they play without him, and now you've noticed it in Champions League when they play without him. Now I don't want to say the only saving grace, but one of the major saving graces for Napoli fans is Victor Osimhen has been confirmed to be available for the next game. Next game will be in at home for Napoli, which is great because you're only down 1-0 on aggregate. It's not over by any means like some of these other matchups, like the Man City and Bayern matchup, for example.
Plus, away goals aren't a factor.
Away goals are not a factor. So you guys definitely have something to look forward to, something to be hopeful for.
I think Napoli go through. I still think they go through.
AC Milan, like honestly,
they've not been that great domestically. I think
domestically no, but they've shown like they beat Napoli 4-0 earlier.
Yeah, but everyone was shocked. I remember because here's the thing, because Napoli, I don't know if Osimhen was in that game, but okay, so Napoli this weekend they also drew 0-0 to Hellas Verona. Hellas Verona, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, they're near the bottom. Yeah, Hellas Verona in the relegation battle. They drew 0-0 to them because they don't have Osimhen. Now Napoli are still gonna win they're still gonna win Serie A obviously because they're 14 points above Lazio in second. But okay, AC Milan is 4th right now, so they're in the Champions League spots, but they're only 2 points ahead of Inter Milan. 5 points ahead of Atalanta, and Atalanta have a game in hand. So they win that, they go 2 points behind them. So like, AC Milan are not confirmed to be Champions League next year, and in my opinion, basically watching them. Rafael Leao was kind of hot and cold, and their whole attack is mainly based around him. I know that they still have Giroud, they still have like Brahim Diaz in the midfield and stuff like that, but their attack is somewhat, I think, concentrated more towards Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao was kind of hot and cold. That's the thing. So like,
he had a good game against.
He
Napoli.
is not.
He was making some amazing.
Oh no,
runs.
he's wavy. He's a very good player.
Very very good player.
He's good, but I still think Napoli go through, and I think for finally if you go Inter and Benfica. Now I thought Benfica were gonna. Well, I didn't think would dust Inter, but I thought Benfica were gonna win by probably 2-3 because Benfica have been dusting the Portuguese league this year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And also, they also had the most goals in the Champions League this year.
That was at home too.
Yeah, and it was at home.
That was at home. Like
and
that's
Benfica
tough
Stadium is huge. It's 65,000.
Yeah.
Portuguese fans are like loud as shit too. So like
that was a really surprising result, especially because Inter has not been like
they've been bums.
But Champions League wise, they've been doing good.
Bro, they lost
beat Barca in the qualifications.
Yeah, but
I
will never forgive Piqué for that. Inter Milan lost 1-0 against Monza yesterday. Monza are dog shit. This is the first time in history, in Inter Milan's history as well. They've lost 3 games in a row without scoring a single goal. This is the first time it's ever happened in their history, bro. Inter Milan are bums. I'm telling you. I will never forgive Eric Garcia and Piqué for making us crash out like that. Dickheads.
Yeah, and I actually did. Like, obviously, those are the matchups. Those are the first legs. The next legs are coming up this week, so we'll definitely be covering those in next
more
next
in
podcast.
depth. Yeah, once we know what the semis are. But like, quick prediction right now, I can definitely say it's gonna be Man City and Madrid in the semis.
Yep.
And I think I'm gonna go right now. It's gonna be Napoli and probably Inter Milan in the semis as well. Because Benfica are good, but since they have to play at the San Siro and they're down 2-0. I don't see them because the Inter Milan probably just gonna park the bus. So I don't really see Benfica doing that. So it's gonna be I think it's gonna be Napoli Inter. I think, but that's a bit harder to call because AC Milan could still win that. Benfica could probably still win, maybe. But I think for sure we can say Man City and Madrid are gonna play in the semis, and between them, well, Man City's a way better team on paper. They're a better team. They play better, but it's Madrid.
It's Madrid, but I have a hard time imagining Man City not washing them.
Yeah, they have Holland.
Madrid has been so ass.
They've been sus. They needed 2.
Not so ass. I don't want to say that like it's Madrid.
Well, bro, look, Barca. Even though Barca are 11 points clear, they've low key been like this year. Barca have been disappointing.
Like they're not like Barca has not been amazing.
Barca's been not that great this year, and we're still 11 points ahead of Madrid. That's the thing, and plus like half of our fucking key players are injured, and we're still 11 points above Madrid in the league. Madrid needed 2, well, not last minute, but like it was past the 70th minute. They needed 2 goals to beat Cadiz, and Cadiz are like what? I think last. I think Cadiz are. Let me check this real quick. Cadiz are like last in the league. I'm pretty sure, and not only that they're like last, but they're like 15 points from safety. Let me check. Oh, no, sorry, that's Elche. Never mind. My fault. Sorry, no. Cadiz are 16th. Okay. They're 16th and they're 4 points ahead of relegation. So, yeah, they're not great either. Madrid we're not that convincing in that game. That's the thing. So, I don't know. For me, if I'm going based on who, should logically win, it would be Man City. But then that's what I said last year. Madrid ended up beating them because it's Madrid.
It's Madrid in the Champions League.
You never know.
Force.
But they have Haaland this year. And Madrid's back line is leaky.
And as long as we've talked about the fear that Madrid instills in their opponents, especially the Premier League opponents for whatever reason, and the way that Madrid does tend to step up against Premier League opponents as of late, especially.
I could see them winning. Don't get me wrong.
They could win.
Madrid
but
could win.
As long as Man City goes in knowing that they are in fact the better team.
They need to go in, thinking knowing that we're.
Then exactly.
We're those guys. They didn't have Holland last year. The reason why is because. I think Madrid are worse than they were last year, personally. I think now I know in the Champions League they have been better, but they've also been playing worse teams than they were last year because who they play so Liverpool are a worse team than Liverpool they played against last year in the final. Chelsea are considerably worse than what they played last year. And Madrid in the league have been shit. That's the thing. Madrid, in my opinion, are worse than they were last year. And Man City are probably better because Man City damn near beat Madrid without Haaland. Now they have Haaland. They have someone who can clinically score for them. So, I think Man City probably win that. I think Man City are going to win it this year. I think either Man City or Napoli win it this year, but I think it's probably going to be Man City.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair prediction. Man City has looked very dominant. But you never know what the Champions League. The Champions League is one of the wonkiest competitions that you can imagine. Some crazy thing could happen, but that's kind of the, I think, tables that discussion for now until we kind of see what goes on in the next leg. Obviously, if you guys have your own predictions, feel free to leave those in the comments. There is one last thing I want to touch on before we wrap up this week's podcast, and that is pertaining to Bayern, because we know what happened between Sadio Mane and Sane, because there was a bit of an altercation.
Yeah, man, bruised up. I'm surprised Mane punched him though. Mane is not the type.
That brother looks like he's a
no, but Mane,
peace,
bro, but Mane is like the last dude. Like it's like if you tell me N'Golo Kante punched him. Like Mane to me is not. Mane to me is not someone like I'd think would like actually go punch a team. Yeah. Like Sane must have really pissed him off.
He must have really pissed him off.
That's what I'm saying.
He must have like talked shit about his family or something. You know?
I don't know, man. It's well, look, yeah. The question basically we were like gonna discuss, and we want to leave this to you guys as well because it is like kind of up for debate. So did Mane make a mistake by leaving Liverpool? Now, I'll let you start off because you're the resident Liverpool fan, so I'll let you start off.
I think that I like to look at things from a multi-perspective analysis, and in this case, there's also that can also be applied here. Mane leaving Liverpool, why? Because he wanted to look for a new challenge. He felt like he won everything with Liverpool that he could win, and he wanted to stop feeling like he was basically second fiddle to Mohamed Salah. Those are my personal opinions as to why he chose to leave. The main being that he wanted a new challenge, and he felt like Bayern Munich would provide him with that new challenge. He could potentially be the man in that club, given that Lewandowski was gone, kind of that kind of a thing. And so that was the thought process behind that, right? Now, what I do fault him with is that although we did not win Champions League last year and we did not win the Premier League, Liverpool were at still a relative high in their position within the Premier League and within Europe in general. And as a player, why would you leave something like that when it was going so good for you? Because you were playing amazing, right? You were such a important piece to that club. Now, obviously, this comes from a very biased perspective because I love Sadio Mane and I wanted him to stay at Liverpool. But what I can see why you could potentially think of it as a mistake to leave Liverpool was that we were at a high in terms of quality in our play and whatever. And now, do I think that Sadio Mane would have all of a sudden made Liverpool go from an 8th position team this season to top 4? I don't know. That's a hard thing to say because it wasn't that left wing position that was our point of weakness this season. It was our midfield, right? So would he have really changed that? I'm not sure. He was a big facilitator though on our team. He was a big.
Also, he was the clutchest player on your team. He's clutch. He was probably the most clutch dude on your team.
Right. He was quick. He was a great passer. He did a lot of things for that Liverpool side that you could still imagine that honestly we were missing this season, right? So did he make a mistake? In my opinion, as a biased Liverpool fan, I think he did. Obviously, 2020 or hindsight is 2020, and you can only say that, right? He started his season off with Bayern pretty well, right?
But then he got injured.
And he kind of ever since then he's been like a shell of his former self, right?
Man, to me, this question, so like I told you, I have like basically like a 2 ways you could say. Essentially, I don't think he made a mistake leaving Liverpool. I think he made a mistake by leaving them for Bayern. Because for me, if I'm Sadio Mane, I'm looking at it like this. I've already won pretty much, like you said, everything with Liverpool. He already won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League. He's won... Did he win the Carabao Cup?
Yeah, we won the Carabao Cup.
He won the... You guys... He didn't win the FA Cup with you guys.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
We won last season against Chelsea.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. Won the FA... Yeah, so he won pretty much everything with Liverpool. So him leaving, at the age he was too, because he's like 30 or 31... I don't think him leaving is really the issue. I don't think he made a mistake that. But if I'm him, I'm thinking if I'm going to leave Liverpool, I'm going to leave them for like
La Liga team.
Like I would leave them for like, let's say like a Barca, a Madrid, maybe like you go to like a Napoli and AC Milan. Like you go one of those teams who are like you could really challenge for something, because him going to Bayern essentially is like he goes there, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least win the German title. Yeah. Like, yeah, you can win the Champions League with Bayern and stuff, and that would be cool, like a second Champions League title. But for me, I'm like, you could join other teams who you could have like as much of a chance of winning a Champions League title with them, on top of the fact that winning a league title would mean more. Like, for example, if he joins Madrid, he has probably an equal of a chance to win the Champions League as Bayern does. On top of that, him winning La Liga is more significant than him winning the Bundesliga, because La Liga is harder to win than the Bundesliga 100%. If you're like, because it's Bayern 100%. Always watches. So for me, it's a thing of like, if I was Mane, I would look at my options. Either stay at Liverpool or go to Bayern. I'd stay at Liverpool. Now, if you say stay at Liverpool or go to Barca, Madrid, or whatever, yeah, I'd go to one of them. Because I would have
got to Barca. Like, look, imagine your team with a healthy Sadio Mane.
Bro, that's the position that we need as well. Exactly, it's the left wing, yeah. But like, For me, yeah, like you go there and like yeah, it makes more sense because it means more to win a title with Real or Barcelona than it does with Bayern. So like for me, either that or you just stay at Liverpool because honestly, like you said, Liverpool were 1 point away from winning the Champions. One point away from winning the Premier League, and they were pretty much the final away from winning the Champions League. So you guys were pretty much this close to winning a quadruple last year. So like. Yeah, if I'm Mane, obviously you guys weren't going to be as good this year, but if I had an option between staying at Liverpool or going to Bayern, yeah, I'd stay at Liverpool. So yeah,
100%.
to basically conclude, I don't think he made a mistake leaving Liverpool. I just think I think he made a mistake leaving Liverpool for Bayern.
Yeah,
I think that's the mistake.
that's a fair point. And obviously, you guys are welcome to share your opinions in the comments or DM us if you guys have alternate opinions about Mane. Should he come back? Should he just move on? That's behind him. Should he just move on or stay in Bayern and kind of work through his troubles there? Let us know what you guys think, and that is kind of going to wrap us up for this week's podcast.
Yep.
We really appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching our TikToks and watching and
gotta get that support going, yo.
Keep the support going. We're the most active on TikTok, so if you guys are looking for more content, more fun, more tier lists, more bracket challenges, what have you, go to our TikTok. We'll be linking that in the description below on our YouTube. And also on our Spotify, so definitely listen to that. We're also available on not Apple Music yet, but hopefully we'll be available on Apple Music. We're available on Amazon Music. If you guys prefer to listen to us instead of looking at Brahim's ugly face, that's no, I'm kidding, bro. You're kind of beautiful.
Yo, like I said last week, man. Yo, y'all should listen to me when you're like studying or sleeping, man. My voice is soothing. You feel me?
Super soothing. Damn, I almost fell asleep making this podcast. But yeah, shout outs to you guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we see you guys next week, and tell your friends about us. Peace out. Bye, guys.